Good evening and welcome to our annual Cantor Shulkes Spring Music Festival, but even more so, Chag Sameach, as we begin the celebration of the holiday of Shavuot, the holiday of our receiving Torah. And as we do with each holiday, we begin that with the lighting of our festival candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov. So as we do each year, we celebrate the life and the legacy of our Cantor Emeritus, Cantor Shulkes, the joy that we had of his many, many years, not only being our cantor, but being our teacher, being our friend, and the legacy of the Spring Music Festival, where he brought so many of our congregation to stand on this bima and sing as a choir, but also to bring new musicians to our congregation. And that legacy continues even today. And this year, we not only get to celebrate Cantor Shulkes as we do each year, but we also get to celebrate the fact that our own Cantor Norman Cohen Falah, that this is his 10th Spring Music Festival, which is a little hard to believe, but the 10th Spring Music Festival that he has put on, and how wonderful it is that we chose to do a retrospective and bring so many of our past Spring Music Festival guests back to Temple Sinai in a celebration not only of Jewish music, but of Torah. It is taught that when we receive the Torah, that we received it with the sound of the shofar, that music was a part of the receiving of Torah. And ever since that day, we have had music as a part of our tradition. Music elevates us. Music inspires us. Music reaches down inside of us and helps find our understanding in new ways. So tonight, when we were thinking about this celebration, we invited all of our previous guests over the last 9 years to reflect on what Torah has meant to them and how it has influenced their music. And we share that with you. So we say thank you to Cantor Norman, to all the musicians, but really to Cantor Norman for putting on what will be a beautiful celebration. Thank you, Cantor Norman, for all that you do each and every day as our cantor. And with that, we turn it over to you. Enjoy.
Thank you, Rabbi Litvak, for your kind words. I am deeply humbled by the knowledge that you value my work so dearly. Good evening and Chag Shavuot Sameach. Over the years, guest artists at the Cantor Shulkes Spring Music Festival and at other major musical events that we've hosted here at Temple Sinai have shared their music and hearts with our congregation. Tonight is Erev Shavuot, celebrating God's gift of the Torah to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. Traditionally, we study Torah together throughout the night, but this time, as we celebrate my 10th Spring Music Festival, we are welcoming 8 of these wonderful musicians and groups as they return to show us how they use music to study and teach Torah in a different way. As you can imagine, when I spoke with them, each of these artists shared such great Torah, so much kemach, so much richness in what they said, that we could have filled several nights of programming. So please forgive us for trimming the interviews in order to maintain the flow of the program. But rest assured that you will have access to the full interviews as we upload them one by one in our YouTube and Facebook channels over the next couple of weeks. Before we start, this evening wouldn't be possible without the support from the Israelsong Family Foundation. Stuart Israelsong, a long-standing partner of our congregation, year after year renews his support, ensuring that we can continue with this musical tradition started by our dear Cantor Emeritus Irving Shulkes over 40 years ago. The Israelsong family's generosity and continued support of our Spring Music Festival makes our dream of getting top quality artists to Temple Sinai come true, and the whole community benefits from that. This year, because we are broadcasting the event, the wider community will be able to enjoy it as well. And so I want to say to all of you who are joining us at Temple Sinai tonight for the first time, wherever you are, Shalom. Welcome. I want to also thank Liane and Barry Wasserman, creator of the Wasserman Lindo Music Fund. Their generous contribution allows us to enhance the musical experience during worship, choir event, and musical programs. So thank you so much. At this moment, I would usually thank all of our patrons for saying Hineni with their contributions. But this year, we envisioned the festival as a gift from Temple Sinai, from us to all of you, as a token of appreciation for all your continuous support. There are more people to thank, but at this point, let's move on. There is so much music to hear tonight. So welcome to our annual Cantor Shulkes Spring Music Festival. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening as I interview our guests about how Torah impacts their creative process, and they each share a little musical gifts with us. And wait till the end. We have something very special that involves all the artists that you won't want to miss. Are you ready? Let's start. We have a great start with a great star for our show. He is really a celebrity in the Jewish world. Let's welcome Rick Recht to our Spring Music Festival.
Yay, thank you so much for having me, Cantor. It is so awesome to be with you.
You were actually the first one who came to Temple Sinai, the one that I brought, I think 8 or 9 years ago. And I remember you rocked the house. That was an amazing concert.
Just such amazing memories. Before the event itself, I remember spending time just meeting with people, meeting with the kids and the families, and practicing singing with them. And then when we got together for the event itself, we had all kinds of people singing, all ages, playing instruments, and it was just really as good as it gets. And I was just so impressed with you and with your community, with how interactive and connecting you all were. So I'm still appreciative.
In your biography, you say that you see Jewish rock music as a powerful and effective tool for developing Jewish pride and identity in youth and adults across the U.S. Can you expand more about this concept?
Of course. I feel that, and I think most people would agree, that music is a soul trigger. It's a soundtrack of our Jewish lives, and that I've got this amazing vehicle. We have this amazing vehicle to work with called music, because it's so it transcends and it transforms. The bottom line is there's a common denominator when it comes to music, that people connect in this way, in ways that they couldn't possibly connect otherwise. And so I look at that as my role in what I do, not just as a Jewish artist playing, but as a leader who, building things like Jewish Rock Radio and J Kids Radio and Song Leader Boot Camp, all these different things are all about strengthening Jewish identity and engagement through the power of music, because it works.
Rick, you are the first artist of the night, and so you get to hear this question first. You, like most of the artists that we'll hear tonight, have written many beautiful songs. The criteria for this concert was to choose one particular song that has a connection with Torah, as we are celebrating Shavuot tonight. So please tell us which song you are going to sing for us, and which passage or story out of Torah inspired you to write it.
Before I jump into the song, I just want to say how loved you are by your colleagues, Cantor. I've been many years since I've been with you, but your name comes up very often in a very loved way. So you should know that.
Thank you.
So I decided to share a song that's based on Parsha Tazria Metzora, which is often a Torah portion that when a bar mitzvah kid gets it, it's a little bit of a groan. I want to share with you a little bit of the history behind this, how I ended up writing this song in the first place. There's a woman, her name is Randy Friedman, great woman, and she had a Jewish music record label, and she created a compilation series where there was a song for every parsha in the Torah, and she had gotten everything covered except Tazria Metzora. And she called me and she said, "Rick, will you do this?" And she said, I've got a feeling there's something here for you to learn and to experience. I think this is going to be meaningful for you. So I decided, I was really pretty new at playing Jewish music. I decided to take her up on it. And I went and met with a rabbi friend of mine, a dear friend of mine. And we talked about the Parsha, which really recounts when people in ancient times would get leprosy, which was prevalent in the Middle East, how they as a community would deal with this, how they would consider a person ritually impure or pure, how they would look at the disease and make a decision based on how it looked, but how they would excommunicate these people, put them outside of the walls of the city, and maybe more importantly, how they would bring them back in to the community. And it was really meaningful to me. And he said, look below the surface, Rick. Literally, look below the surface. Look below the surface of the skin color, the ethnicity, the religion, the sexual orientation. Look below to find the common denominator that each and every human being has, and that's a heart. And the ability, as Dr. King said, to love each other. And I was really touched by this. And I wrote this song. The song is called Tear Down the Walls. And I just want to share a couple things. I wrote this song in, I don't know what year it was, but it was in December. My wife and I got married in April. We looked up the Parsha for the weekend that we were going to be married. And guess what it was? It was Tazria Metzora, okay? So the song that I'd written was actually for the Parsha of the weekend that we were getting married. And so I thought how perfect it is that I should share this song with you all today.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
It was really a pleasure, really a pleasure to have you here on the show, Rick.
Thank you so much. Wonderful being with you.
Thank you. So let's hear Rick Recht in action.
Beneath our skin, the action we take, the strength we find, the changes we make, the hand we hold to a safer place, the courage to speak face to face. From our ears to our hands, to the ground where we stand, we are holy and whole, every woman, man. Being together is being alive. Only together will we survive. We can tear down the walls, brick by brick, one by one, till our love is greater than fear, till we remember why we are here. We can tear down the walls, we can tear down the walls. Sometimes a stranger is someone new, sometimes a stranger is part of you. The distance we make can cause so much pain. A time to turn and look again. The birth of a child, the months of the year, the hurt and the healing, hope reappears. Sometimes a field must burn to the ground for fertile land to come around. We can tear down the walls, brick by brick, one by one, till our love is greater than fear, till we remember why we are here. We can tear down the walls, every daughter, every son, so we can build on that land. We can remember where we've come from. We can tear down the walls, tear down the walls, tear down the walls. We can tear down the walls. Mamlechet Kohani, priestly nation are we. We've been starved of our hope and our homes and our lives. We survived on our responsibility. We can tear down the walls, tear down the walls, tear down the walls. We can tear down the walls.
Now it's time to introduce our next artist. We have here in our community Dan Nichols. Dan Nichols is a singular talent in the world of Jewish music. He is one of the most, I would say, dynamic, influential and beloved Jewish musicians in North America. Welcome, Dan, to our Spring Music Festival.
Thank you,
How are you
Norman.
doing?
I appreciate you. I'm wonderful, and I'm even better because I'm with you right now. Thank you for this opportunity.
When you came first to Temple Sinai, I remember that was an effort by the regional reform movement that brought you here. And what I think is good about you is that you're cool. You're just relaxed, on and off stage. You have that level of depth in everything that you do, and that's very noticeable.
So I'm so grateful that you noticed that. And for me, that first impression of meeting you and you giving me permission to work with your kids and sing and teach, that was precious. And what's the name of the piano player that you work with?
Marcelo Barsky.
Marcelo.
Yeah.
It was it's absolutely, for me, wrapped up in that moment of memory. It was you,
Oh, yeah.
Marcelo, and those kids. And listen, I'm a camp kid myself, and I grew up in a Jewish summer camp that just embodies the relationship between informal Jewish education, communal singing, and prayer as a way to celebrate Jewish life in an authentic way. And to witness your community doing that was inspiring.
Yeah, and I actually, something that struck me in your biography was what you wrote about that you're a product of a Jewish camping movement, and that particular made you realize the potential of Jewish music, and how you can impact Jewish youth with music. How did that movement, let's say, shaped you as a songwriter back then and maybe nowadays?
Oh, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be with you right now if it hadn't been for Jewish summer camp and what it gave to me. And there's some specific reasons. My whole family converted to Judaism when I was 7. Both my mom and dad grew up as Presbyterians. First off, I just remember not being Jewish, and then we were, and that was a radical transition for a 7-year-old kid, being me. And then also a year and a half later, they sent me to this Jewish summer camp. The first time I really had a relationship with Hebrew was at camp. with saying any blessing for any reason, whether it's Motzi before a meal or Birkat Hamazon after, or Baruch Hu to Kaddish Yatom. All those things were taking root at camp. And camp, one of the things that most summer camps do great is celebrate community, celebrate a moment, synthesize joy into everything. That's what camp does very well. So you take that overlay and you put that into anything, whether it's Jewish learning, Jewish communal experience, whether it's having a meal or singing after the meal, and then communal prayer, led by 19-year-old college students who are passionate. It's going to have an impact, and it had an impact on me, and I'm certain that's why I'm with you right now.
And I think you have mastered the ability of bringing those memories from the past and just displaying now who you are and inspiring everyone around you every time that you are on stage. You are very much loved by everyone. I think that speaks volumes about who you are. You have taught Torah to many generations. So in this case, what verse, what story from the Torah inspired you to write the song that you're about to share with us? And maybe you can add what is the message that you wanted to convey when you wrote that song?
Well, the song I want to sing for you is called All This Rain. And it's from the story of Noah and the flood. And the setup is it's Noah, it's the 40th day, and he doesn't know it's about to end. And what is he feeling on that 40th day when it's 40 days of rain? He doesn't know it's going to end tomorrow. What is he thinking? What is he feeling? Cantor Shulkes teaches about Torah, something that I love, which is a story doesn't necessarily need to be factual to be true. And that can be a real power in beginning to understand Torah. And so I just decided that I was going to pretend that I was Noah in this situation. And how would I feel if I was in that position? And then I noticed that the day flew by and it was 5 o'clock at night and it was time to make dinner, and I was still up to my elbows in this song, fully engaged with the feeling component of, if that was me, how would I have felt? And that's the song. But that helped me unlock that parsha in a way that it had never been unlocked for me before.
Amazing. That's I'm telling you, this is you're teaching us great Torah on Erev Shavuot that we are celebrating tonight. So thank you so much, Dan. And it was wonderful spending this time, I would say quality time with you.
Absolutely, Norman.
And I think it's time to hear you doing this song. So I want to say thank you, Dan, for being here, and I hope you can come visit us anytime soon.
Thank you very much, Norman. I'm just a man, the last of my kind, the 10th generation, born to save time. I remember the stories, how it was good before. Now we are flooded with things that aren't anymore, and all this rain, all this rain, heaving in the chaos over faith and fear. The water betrays us. 40 days feels like 40 years with this rain. All this rain, all this rain, all this rain. what only you can create. With all this rain, all this rain, all this rain, all this rain. How it was good before. Now we are flooded with things that aren't anymore.
And we continue with this musical journey. So, just one moment. My wife texted me. Okay. Oh, she thinks maybe I would look better with my hat on. I don't know. Let's see. What do you think? I think she's right. Well, I should say she's always right. So, with my hat on now, let's continue with the show. And talking about hats, our next artist is someone who can put on many, many hats. In all the areas she performs, she delivers with proficiency, creativity, and a pure heart. Let's welcome Eliana Light to our Spring Music Festival. How are you doing, Eliana?
I'm great. What a beautiful introduction. I feel very honored, and I really like the hat. Looks great.
But I was joking before about the hats, but in some way it is true. In fact, on your website, you refer to what you do as offerings. And I love that term, that concept. It's a beautiful way to put it. Tell us more about it.
These gifts that I happen to have, the ability to sing and to write music and to share it with people, aren't mine. And so just as in Shavuot coming up right now, it's really appropriate. When we brought our first fruits as an offering, it was a recognition that these are gifts. So framing it as offerings, at least for me, makes me feel like I received a gift, and this is my offering back to the community and even potentially to the Holy One, whether it's doing consulting with communities to help make their tefillot a Tat Shabbat or a concert or a learning session, that these are things that I am offering up as maybe even a korban, the Hebrew word that we often translate a sacrifice, but really has the root of karov, of drawing close. I am helping communities draw closer, I hope, to each other, to the sacred texts and traditions that we have, and to the Holy One, to the entire world.
And what about all these offerings? Which one are you most passionate about?
This is hard because, as you said, I wear a lot of hats. I am really passionate these days about prayer leadership. So working with communities, individual leaders, or groups to figure out what is prayer, what are we trying to do when we pray, what is the Siddur trying to help us do, and what comes from our own hearts. How do we do that for ourselves? And then what's the point of all of this? Can prayer and prayer practice actually make the world a better place? You know, spoiler alert, I think the answer is yes, but only if we do it with intentionality. So that's where my heart really is these days.
Tonight, we are celebrating Shavuot, and I understand that you have a song you wrote about an important aspect of the Hag, of the festival. Please tell us which song you chose to sing for us and what's the connection.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of offerings, I'm excited to share my song called Bikurim, or The Fruits of Our Tree. I haven't necessarily decided which title to go with yet, but it's playing on this idea of bringing the first fruits to the temple and the roots of gratitude. That, at least for me, perhaps the roots of gratitude are looking around the world and recognizing that we had some part to play in our lives, some part to play in the tree that we planted, but definitely not the whole part. There is something bigger than me. There are forces beyond my control. And that maybe forces me to look around and say, wow, how amazing it is. I'm grateful. Where do I send my gratitude? We can call that God. So as you listen to the song, even if you haven't planted a tree or a field lately, perhaps you can think about what are the gifts in your own life and what are things that you can see as gifts that maybe you took for granted before.
Eliana, it was really a pleasure to have you on the Spring Music Festival, and we are going to hear now Eliana singing this beautiful song. Lehitraot.
Here is this tree, well I grew this tree, well I planted the seed, and that's something at least, but how did the seed know what it would take to grow? Here is this tree, well I planted the seed, and I gave it lots of rain, well the rain just kind of came, and how does the sun shine at just the right time? Ooh, guess I'm thankful to you, 'cause I'm thankful to you, guess I'm thankful to you, God. Here's a little gift from me, the fruits of our tree. Here is this hand, well it digs in the land, and the land holds the seeds, and it gives what it needs, and I wonder if the land knows the beauty that it shows. Here is this life, and I don't know why, but my body knows to be, and it breathes air into me, and who even is to say that we should be here anyway? Ooh, guess I'm thankful to who? Guess I'm thankful to you. I'm thankful to you, God. So here's a little gift from me, the fruits of our tree. And I know you're everywhere, the rocks, the roots, the air, and yet I go to your house and I offer it there, like my parents before me, without whom I wouldn't be, without whom there's no seed and no tree. Guess I'm part of something bigger than me. Here is this life, here is this hand, here is this seed, here is this tree. I'm thankful to who? Guess I'm thankful to you. Guess I'm thankful to you, God. So here's a little gift from me, the fruits of our tree. Yeah, we did it. fruits of our tree, fruits of our tree.
We are now saying hello to our next guest. They are Daphna Rosenberg, who is in Israel, and Yoel Sykes, I think, who is in Colorado, better known as in our community and worldwide as Nava Tehila. Daphna and Yoel, welcome to the show. It's so nice to see you. Can you explain to the audience what Nava Tehila means in Hebrew, and also, in a nutshell, what is your contribution to the worship experience in Jerusalem, which is where you originally were based?
So Nava Tehila, it actually means beautiful praise. And what we've been doing in our community for the past 15 years and bringing all over the world is a lot of worship through praise. We've written a lot of original music to psalms and song of songs and prayers. And we have created a whole model of prayer and worship that brings people together to sing and pray together.
I met you, Daphna, first, even before meeting Yoel, and that for me was more like a beshert. And at that time, honestly, I have to admit, I didn't know anything about Nava Tehila or the music. And then you came, I would put it in a metaphor, like you brought like a chest that you opened for me, a chest with the treasure, and that treasure was really your beautiful music that you and were composing. You made a huge contribution to Jewish music during worship, and that's my personal view. But, what do you remember about that, Daphna? You remember anything about that moment that we shared together?
It was a very, very special moment to be singing and sharing the music, and it felt like we were enlarging the vessel, was moving out of our little incubator in Nava Tehila in Jerusalem and joining with lots more musicians and enlarging the vessel.
I do remember a few minutes before the Shabbat, we were about to start services, and you said, wait a minute. Let's pause. Let's take a moment to breathe in the spirit of Shabbat. And I think that's the way you embrace Shabbat. And you welcome everyone to do the same, to welcome Shabbat in a very spiritual way.
I just want to share that I'm very touched by some of the images that you shared, Norman, and one of them is the treasure chest that you experienced Daphna bringing and sharing all of these melodies and the spirit, and I'm so grateful to hear that that's your experience, and I have this image of how what we created together in Jerusalem was really out of our individual or personal need in that place, to find that connection with spirit through music and through community, and something that was created there through a need that was in a specific place, but then we didn't know that it was also answering a need for people in other places. And so when we began to be invited to travel around and share this music, it's like we were carrying this chest around and sharing the gifts that have been given to us. So to hear that you use these melodies on Shabbat.
Yeah, and I would say you hit the right string there, because you opened a new door for progressive music from Israel, and you were the ones that really made us aware here in America how wonderful and so authentic, I would say, is the music that you have brought for us from Israel. I have a vivid memory from you. That was Havdalah and Havana Shira Conference for Song Leaders, and you were there standing, the author, the composer of Ose Shalom, which, by the way, has been embraced and loved by so many people. This is just became an anthem. How did you feel when the music transcends, and becomes so popular, and you were there experiencing that firsthand, singing that for people and transforming them through your music? How was that feeling for you, Yoel?
Wow, it's a great joy. It's a great joy to be received in that way, and just to see the meaning and the joy that our music brings to other people, it just brings me a lot of joy.
So one more question for you, Yoel and Daphna. What is the Connected to Torah song that you are going to sing for us tonight?
So the composition that we chose to share with you this evening is of the pasuk Ana Elna Refana La. Please God heal her, and that's the prayer that Moses said for his sister Miriam, which was sick, and it has become a healing anthem. We want to bring it and share it with the deep prayer of healing for all of us, especially now in these times with this very challenging year that everybody has gone through all over the world with COVID-19. We feel that the need for prayer, for healing, for spiritual healing, for emotional healing, for physical healing is much stronger.
Again, I am a great admirer of your music and I'm a user of your music. So thank you so much, Nava Tehila. You are all set to sing the song for us, Elna Refanala. Thank you so much.
On Shavuot, we rise up with the spiritual waters of below and meet the spiritual waters of above. And it's from this place that we together can listen into our hearts as a community and feel into the pain of Shekhinah herself, to this place in our world that is lacking of spiritual nourishment, and pray together for healing and tikkun for all of those places.
How are you doing? Are you having a good time? If you like the first half of this show, you definitely want to stick around because what is coming up is just as amazing. We still have Ari Litvak from Mexico, Yonina from Israel, Aronson, Nefesh Mountain, and remember, be sure to wait for the grand finale. It's a real treat. Stay tuned. And now we are traveling to Mexico to say shalom to my dear friend, Hazzan Ari Litvak, Cantor at Comunidad, Betel in Mexico City. Ari, how are you? ¿Cómo estás, querido?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm very happy to be here again.
So we talked about with Ari how to conduct this interview. We are going to switch to Spanish because this way we can talk about more freely about the memories of Ari's visit, Ari and his choir visit to Temple Sinai, and all the memories that we want to share together. Les quiero contar que Ari y yo nos conocemos hace muchos años, más de 20 años. Trabajamos en diferentes momentos juntos. Trabajamos en la comunidad Betilel en Argentina, en Buenos Aires. Cantamos muchas veces en conciertos de cantors, de Hazzanim. Él no solamente es pianista, él es un excelente guitarrista, es un musical producer y sobre todo quiero expresar que es un excelente ser humano. Y esos talentos que Ari tiene son los que lo llevó hoy por hoy a ser el Hazzan, el cantor de la comunidad Betel en México, que es básicamente la comunidad más grande de Latinoamérica. ¿Cómo anda tu vida, Ari?
Bueno, muy contentos también de estar contigo. Como dijo Norman, nos conocemos durante tantos años, hemos compartido música, arreglos. Norman también es muy talentoso y siempre es un gran agrado compartir con él momentos de Gebruta y consultarnos, así que gracias a ti también por esto. Y bueno, muy contento acá haciendo un gran trabajo, especialmente en pandemia, ¿no? Que nos lleva a los Hazzanim a movernos y a mover a la comunidad a través de diferentes instancias. Y bueno, pero aquí estamos muy contentos de compartir nuevamente con ustedes.
Y la verdad que hablando de pandemia, Ari, has trabajado arduamente para llevar la experiencia del worship, del rezo que tradicionalmente ha sido en persona y los programas musicales, todo al terreno virtual. ¿Quieres contarnos alguna de estos proyectos que has hecho en este último año que nos llevó a este mundo virtual?
Bueno, tuvimos muchísimos desafíos, los Hazzanim, los rabinos, los directores de estas comunidades, y tal vez uno de los éxitos fue, en el caso de la comunidad de Betel, es movernos muy rápido. Nuestro proyecto este año fue estar cerca de nuestras familias. Hay una frase que a mí me gusta mucho del Reb Nachman de Bratslav que dice mitzvah gedolá liot besimchat tamid, que es una gran mitzvah estar siempre felices. Y realmente cuando uno se detenía a ver lo que estaba pasando en este mundo, había un gran desafío para que la comunidad pueda sostener a su membresía y bueno, la comunidad se metió dentro de la casa. Pudimos compartir y sentir que nuestros socios, que los miembros de nuestras comunidades nos acompañaban y bueno, todo eso fue a través de lo que comentaba, como conciertos, como clases, conciertos corales, conciertos de Hazzanim, Tfilot y bueno, creo que seguimos en esta pandemia y seguimos creando. En algunos sentidos hay que seguir creando y ser originales para estar cerca de nuestros socios.
Y debo decir que hiciste un excelente trabajo. Tú siempre estás ahí adelante pensando qué se puede hacer para estar un poco mejor y como tú dices, para que en este caso las comunidades puedan estar más cerca de sus feligreses, de sus congregantes. Tú nombraste, me hiciste acordar cuando dijiste Mitzvah Gedola Liot Besimcha. Me hace recordar mucho a una canción que cantábamos juntos allá en Betilel al final de cada Shabbat. ¿Tú te acuerdas?
Me acuerdo perfecto y es una añoranza, ¿no? Porque para los que nos están escuchando, realmente nuestros comienzos profesionales fueron en esa comunidad, la comunidad Betilel en Argentina, y teníamos una instancia en la cual al finalizar los rezos, todos los que participábamos en la tefilá bajaban del púlpito y alrededor del piano nos poníamos a cantar y hacíamos popurrís de minutos y minutos cantando melodías que mientras la gente se saludaba, saludaban al joven bar mitzvah o lo que pasa, realmente lo recuerdo con mucho cariño ese momento.
La verdad sería muy lindo cantarla juntos. Yo creo que tal vez podemos intentarlo hacerlo y bueno, a ver si nos sale, aunque sea desde la virtualidad. ¿Qué te parece, Ari?
Vamos entonces a recordar ese momento con este popurrí.
A ver esas palmas, cantemos juntos.
וחבטה בואי לגני נרננה נזמרה נרננה נזמרה נרננה נזמרה נרננה נזמרה מצוות גדול לי אויס ושמחו לי אויס ושמחו שמחו תמיד אוי 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 מצוות גדול לי אויס ושמחו לי אויס ושמחו שמחו תמיד 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 ושמחו אוי 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 תמיד 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 ושמחו אוי 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 מצוות גדול לי אויס ושמחו תמיד ושמחו מצוות גדול לי אויס ושמחו לי אויס ושמחו ושמחו תמיד עוד יבוא שלום עלינו עוד יבוא שלום עלינו עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם עוד יבוא שלום עלינו עוד יבוא שלום עלינו עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם סלום עלינו ועל כל העולם סלם 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 עלינו ועל כל העולם סלם סלם עוד יבוא שלום עלינו עוד יבוא שלום עלינו עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
Qué lindo, Ari, qué lindo haber cantado este popurrí contigo después de tantos años. La verdad me trae hermosos, hermosos recuerdos. Espero que les haya gustado a todos. Y hablando de recuerdos, recuerdo muy bien la visita que nos hicieron ustedes, tú, Ari, con tu coro Shirati de México, de Betel de México, a nuestra comunidad aquí en Temple Sinai de Miami, para nuestro Spring Music Festival, allá por el año 2017, cuando organizamos el International Choral Fest. ¿Lo recuerdas?
Claro que sí, claro que me acuerdo con mucha emoción y alegría porque fue un fin de semana de camaradería entre dos comunidades, Temple Sinai y la comunidad de Betel de México, ambos coros. Tuvimos el honor de ser invitados por los miembros de los coros a recibir a nuestro coro en sus casas y ya desde ese punto fue una experiencia hermosa porque se pudieron unir y compartir experiencias, convivir de una manera muy, muy personal. Recuerdo con mucha alegría ver el Beit Knesset, el Shul, lleno de gente participando y había mucha gente de México también que estaba de vacaciones por ahí y la gente del coro y nosotros dos dirigiendo la tefilá y el coro que se paró a cantar a acompañarte una tefilá. Entonces creo que fuimos uniéndonos esa noche, tuvimos una cena sabática que compartimos y Zmirot de Shabbat, un ruach hermoso, una abdalá donde nos abrazamos y por supuesto el momento del concierto en sí, creo que fue muy rico mostrar las cualidades de cada uno de los coros, los momentos instrumentales, los momentos que hemos cantado nosotros y por supuesto uno de los momentos donde nos reunimos los dos coros al mismo tiempo para cantar, creo que fue magistral.
Ese final fue magnífico y recuerdo nos unimos en la música judía, en la música de nuestros ancestros y fue realmente una experiencia muy enriquecedora y por eso te doy las gracias y me encanta saber que ustedes también han tenido una experiencia tan linda como la nuestra. Y ojalá que la próxima, cuando no haya más pandemia, podamos estar tal vez visitándonos de vuelta. Tal vez la próxima Nava de México.
La próxima toca en México.
Tenemos una sorpresa para todos los que están viendo este Spring Music Festival, porque tenemos una sorpresa especial donde le pedimos a los dos coros que en esta oportunidad puedan volver a grabarse para poder cantar una canción en conjunto, tal cual se hizo hace ya 4 años atrás. Así que te agradezco, muchas gracias, Ari. Toda Rabbi. We are going to hear Temple Sinai Choral Ensemble together with choir Shirati from Mexico. and Ari Litvak and Cantor Norman, all of us will be featured in this following musical piece. And now we are traveling to Israel to greet our next group. They are a musical duo who first started sharing their music through weekly home videos posted to social media. Now their music has reached millions of viewers. When I first saw the videos, I just wanted to bring them to Temple Sinai. So with no more to say, I would say welcome Yonina to our Spring Music Festival. Hello, Yonina. How are you doing?
Thank you for that welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. I'm telling you, I'm a great admirer of what you do. When Israel turned 70 for Yom Ha'atzmaut, I said to myself I wanted to bring and support an Israeli artist, and I thought of you, as my first option. And when you said yes, that was just a dream come true. I hope you remember that visit as fondly as we do.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
We have really good memories. I think especially special, I remember, was when we actually sang together, Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. That was very powerful, together with you. And in general, just, I remember the energies and then performance and just meeting everyone from the congregation. There was a lot of...
Everyone had a lot of heart.
Yeah.
It's so warm and welcoming.
For sure.
I think I would say that was from heart to heart. That's how it is. You put your heart out there when you're on stage, and you come across just as charming, sweet, great spirit. And we welcome that, and we were enlightened by your presence. So, changing the subject, I'm sure the viewers may be curious to know, in a nutshell, how is your story? How did you end up being a social media phenomenon, and how was that?
So, you want to start?
I'd say with a lot of help from God.
But yeah, we actually started after we got married. We started just to upload videos from our living room. In the beginning, it was just kind of like sharing with family and friends, and we hoped that it might get out there and maybe we could actually make this a profession, do music together.
And then just slowly, our videos started reaching more and more people, and there were a few milestone videos that really became viral. And thank God, ever since we've been on this roller coaster of a journey.
I even remember the first phone call we got from someone that said, "Do you do concerts?"
Were you doing concert at the time, or were we just like, okay,
It was the first.
It was the first concert.
Let's take the gig.
I said, "Yeah, okay, we'll do it. Yeah, we do concerts." And that's how kind of, he's like, "Great, so how long's the concert?" I said, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15. And that's how it started. And since then, we just kept on doing it.
Yeah, thank God. So it's been about almost 5 years now of performing in Israel and abroad. And
that's amazing. And I know you mentioned that you released your first album. And my question is, of course, hopefully with no COVID in the clouds in the short term, what's next? What are you planning to do?
Before we started doing music together, I was a tour guide, and I always had a dream to combine music and Israel and touring together. We did like 2 or 3 before
Wow.
COVID, and then we moved to virtual. But walking around Jerusalem with a guitar and singing songs and seeing different places, and the songs relate to the content. And I just feel like music is a way to really bring into a deeper understanding to what the tour is about.
So we need to move on to the last question. I understand you're going to share one of the songs that you wrote in the last album. So tell us how that song is connected to Torah, and what is the message that you want to convey with this song.
so the song we chose to share is Rega Mechuvan, and that literally means intentional moment. So it, first of all, it relates just to this concept of kavanah, of intention, and trying to live our lives with intention. It's kind of like a personal prayer. But there's a specific verse from there. Actually, in the chorus, we say, רוצה לחפוץ בחיים, לאהוב את הימים, לראות טוב, רק טוב. And that's, which means, we want to really, to see good wherever we go, and to choose our lives and to love our days. But that was actually inspired by a verse in Psalms where we say, מי האיש שחפץ חיים, אוהב ימים לראות טוב. And it was there in my mind, like, what does that mean to לחפוץ בחיים, to really be a person who chooses life, who wants life, and who loves every single day and manages to see the good in every single day, in every single moment.
You want to say something? Of course.
It's hard to talk after Nina. Nina says beautiful things.
I know. She's gifted as you are. So it's been a joy. אני כל כך שמח. תודה רבה. And we are going now to hear Yonina singing רגע מכוון.
לאן ברח היום, הוא רק התחיל וכבר עזל.
תזכיר לי מה חיפשתי בכלל.
הכל רועש לי בפנים ובחוץ, לא להפסיק לרוץ.
ממה אתה לחוץ? שכל דקה רודפת השנייה, הופכת אהבה למטרה, נוחתת שוב בלילה במיטה.
לנוע קצת לפני הקרב הבא, האם אני בדרך למנוחה ולנחלה?
רודפת אופקים, עוקפת שבילים, נותנת לפקקים לנגע לי על העצבים.
וכל רגע שמחה היא רק מעבר לפינה, במרחק של נשימה. אז איך זוכים באריכות ימים, שכל רגע מכוון וממלא אותי בפנים, רוצה לחפוץ בחיים, לאהוב את הימים, לראות טוב, טוב, רק טוב.
עוצר ומרים מבט, הורים יותר כשהולכים לאט,
וכמה זה פשוט להיות ולחוות ולהודות.
מפסיקה לעמוד מהצד, ומונח אצלי ביד, מפעים בפיקדון, אני לא רוצה לפספס עוד רגע אחד.
אני יודעת השמחה היא רק מעבר לפינה, במרחק של נשימה. אז איך זוכים לאריכות ימים,
שכל רגע מכוון וממלא אותי בפנים, רוצה לחפוץ בחיים, לאהוב את הימים, לראות טוב, טוב רק טוב. אז איך זוכים לאריכות ימים, שכל רגע מכוון וממלא אותי בפנים, רוצה לחפוץ בחיים, לאהוב את הימים, לראות טוב, טוב רק טוב. טוב רק טוב. טוב רק טוב. אז איך זוכים לאריכות ימים, שכל רגע מכוון וממלא אותי בפנים, רוצה לחפוץ בחיים, לאהוב את הימים, לראות טוב, רק טוב. אז איך זוכים לאריכות ימים, שכל רגע מכוון וממלא אותי בפנים, רוצה לחפוץ בחיים, לאהוב את הימים, לראות טוב, רק טוב.
Our next guest is Noah Aronson, a composer and a musician I admire very much. And Noah's music is very known here at Temple Sinai, as we sing a couple of his songs every Shabbat. Am I Awake, Let There Be Love are among just a few of his compositions. So let's welcome Noah Aronson to our annual Spring Music Festival.
It's so nice to be here and so nice to see your face and to be together with the community again.
I met Noah when I attended Hazzan Ari Litvak conference, which is a conference for song leaders. When I saw him, I said to myself, I have to bring Noah to Temple Sinai, because the way, Noah, the way you engage with people so naturally, just the kids and adults alike, is amazing. And you actually came twice to our community. The first time was in 2016, when you led a song session for our Jewish day school, and then led Shabbat services with us. And then 2 years later, I asked you to come back again to give an exclusive concert for our high donors. Thank you so much for these two gifts that you gave to us a few years ago.
It was so meaningful and such a joy to be together in the community. Like you said, I mean, age doesn't necessarily matter for me. I find that spirituality is found in all humans, and so I love interacting and the joy that comes out of working with children, and also working with the whole full span of the community is really meaningful for me.
So tell us, Noah, what's happening in your life at the moment. I know you are now really engaged with one of your newest projects, B Major. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, this year has been obviously really interesting for all of us. I think I was thinking about it today, actually. I am an introvert, even though I love performing and being with groups. I also do really well by being alone in solitude, and working from my own home has actually been rather helpful for me to pivot and to do things in that way. So it's actually offered me a lot of opportunity to be creative and to expand what I'm offering. And these days I've been doing a lot of workshops and classes and teaching through this new platform called B Major, where I offer workshops in creativity and spirituality, and how the two work together for our own personal healing, and also to allow us to express our most authentic selves.
Today is Shavuot, Erev Shavuot, and the idea was to show how music can be a vehicle also to express Torah, through notes, music notes, and through text. Tell us more about the piece you are going to share with us.
Yeah, it's beautiful. When you phrase it like that, I realized that, music is in the white spaces in between the letters of Torah. And yes, I find that I've been finding a lot of meaning over the last few years in the power and the depth that music can bring to all of us and to our spirituality. And I've been doing a lot of inward searching and through spiritual practices that incorporate music and also in movement as well. And so that's the piece that I will be sharing today is a setting of Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. And we say this oftentimes when we are bringing the Torah out into our congregation, into our midst. And I was thinking about the word mitzion, which is from Zion. So Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, that from Zion the Torah will emerge. But I also thought about the connection between mitzion and the word mitsuyan. There's a connection in Hebrew between the two. And mitsuyan is about our excellence. And so I was thinking that when we are able to be our best selves, when we are able to let go and find our authentic truth and listen to our heart voice over our head voice, our heart voice is the communicator of love and the communicator of the present moment. When we can be from that place of mitsuyan, then Torah can emerge for us. We can receive it and we can also bring it forth into the world.
Great song. I'm sure everyone will love this to hear that from you. So really, I just want to say thank you again for being here. It's been really a treat for us, and I hope you can come visit us in the near future, because really we miss you and you're just great personality.
Yes, I so miss the laughter and the community and just the collective spirit of being able to be together and sing together and just make Jewish life feel vibrant together in community again. So yes, I hope to be down there again and share moments together.
Thank you so much. So let's hear Noah Aronson singing Ki mitzion. We are getting close to the end of our program tonight. Our next appearance is from a band that has created a new sound, a new genre. They combined American bluegrass and old music with Jewish heritage and tradition. They have extensively toured the world sharing their unique sound. They are Nefesh Mountain. Doni, Eric, welcome to our Spring Music Festival. We are so happy to have you here on the show. And I just want to remind the people who are watching tonight that Nefesh Mountain came to Temple Sinai just 2 years ago. You came and you just gave us a wonderful concert in the evening, and everyone, of course including me, was roaring, was clapping, was dancing along. That's the energy that you have on stage. We've had great memories. I hope you do too.
Oh yeah,
such good memories. And I was thinking a couple of days ago, I was like, I think it's been 2 years since we were there, and we miss you. We really loved being with you, and we hope to see you in person soon.
My first question actually will be, this is a new sound that you created, a new genre. Where that new sound, this unique music that you're producing has taken you?
The genre that we play, we're big fans and lovers and musicians of bluegrass, old time, really kind of this umbrella that is Americana these days. We're American Jews, and we grew up with this, half of ourselves that we're really proud of our Jewish identity, our heritage and our culture and our spirituality, and also this pride in American music and in the sound of Appalachian melodies. But our music and this kind of fusion, for us, it's actually just what we like and who we are. We're American Jews who grew up in this country playing this music and loving it and absorbing it and learning it. And this music has brought us to, international places like Australia and Israel a few times. We've had the most powerful experiences for a room of 10 people in Dallas. It can be just as powerful as playing on a huge stage in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I will say that we did a big concert in Raleigh, North Carolina, a few times, and that was kind of a sort of a turning point for me, actually, when we were on that stage. There was thousands and thousands of people. It was a huge crowd for miles and miles, and I got really nervous because I thought, it was the beginning of when we were starting to share this music with audiences that are of all backgrounds. This wasn't a Jewish audience. It was these are mixed crowds. And it was close to the time of the Tree of Life shooting. And I felt really scared. I felt scared to be outwardly Jewish in this environment. But luckily, we were received with love, and people were crying, and we got a standing ovation, and it was like a big, beautiful moment. But that was a moment I'll never forget.
Well, that when you wrote this song for after the tragedy, The Tree of Life, which is a beautiful song, how you managed to embrace that situation through lyrics and music in such a short time? Because I remember 3 days after you put together this in poetry and music in just in the nicest ways possible.
Oh, sweet Spirit, hear my prayer. Help these words heal someone out there. I am but a voice, just a cry in the air.
The story, actually, as it goes, is that August, prior to the Tree of Life shooting, which was in October in 2018, we actually went to Eastern Europe to visit the towns where our families were from in Poland and in Ukraine. And I mentioned this specifically in relation to it because we our hearts were fragile. We're literally walking through the forests where people were shot, and literally our families. We were just raw from that feeling of being over there and kind of being like, wow, I've never firsthand experienced Europe in that way, in Eastern Europe. And then coming home, and you get this unsettling anti-Semitic feeling in this country, and then bam, there's Tree of Life. There it's like, here we are stateside. Here we are dealing with this basically the same hate that we dealt with in the mid-40s in World War II during the Holocaust. So there was something, I think, that was like in the air in our home around that that time that was had a lot of pain, and I think that melody and words just kind of came out of us in a matter of really minutes, and then we kind of set up a camera and recorded it so that, because we knew so many people on social media like Facebook were reeling in pain from this, and everyone was scared, including us, and we just put it up as an offering.
And now we'll heal together somewhere, somehow.
Our next question is actually from Heather Oppenheimer, who is one of our Temple Sinai partners.
Bluegrass songs are usually secular or Christian gospel. How do you incorporate a Jewish feeling to this style of music?
The bluegrass music, it's, when you're talking about music, it's notes, it's melody, and it's harmony, it's banjos, it's fiddles. There's a whole world to me that I've always fallen in love with of bluegrass, including, some songs that are like old Christian hymns, but taking the melody and the sentiment and the kind of love that's even in those Christian songs, I still got what they were about, even if they weren't part of our religion. So I think we take the spirit of bluegrass and we sing our own words. We kind of are making our own story as we go.
This is the most authentic way for us to express our love for this style of music, but do it in a way that's authentic to us. So it's the perfect match for us.
And let me tell you, you do it really, really very well. It's Metsuyan. It's just fantastic. So, unfortunately, we are approaching the end of our interview. So, is this song in particular you're about to sing somehow connected to this sacred text?
Absolutely. It's the song we're going to share with you is called Where, Oh Where, and it's a brand new song. It's a song where we're asking questions to the universe, like where did all the goodness go in the world? And it's been over the last few years, and it's about the things we were talking about, but seeing all of this hatred and through a pandemic, and there's just been so much confusing feelings about this world that we live in. And we kind of dove into nature and the Torah and sort of came up with some comforting words and music that make us feel better about these answers to these questions.
Thank you so much, Doni and Eric. It was so enjoyable to have you on our music festival. And now we are going to hear Nefesh Mountain singing Where, Oh Where. Enjoy it.
Where, oh, where are the sweetest songs of Miriam and her daughters? They were sung beside the seas and tides, so still must be out on the waters, still on the waters. Where, oh, where is the wisdom sought by the many before us? She was there inside the tree of life, so still must reside in the forest, still in the forest. Die-dee-die, die-dum-die, die-dum-die, die-dee-die, die-dum-die, die-dum-die, die-dum-die. Where, oh, where is the innocence from our first days in Eden? They used to rest their heads on the flower beds, so still must be there in the gardens, still in the gardens. Die-dee-die, die-dum-die, 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 die-dee-die, die-dum-die, die-dum-die, die-dum-die. Our forgiveness from the age of the flood so long ago? Under all the rain the earth remained, so still in the fields and the meadows, in the fields and the meadows. Die-dee-die, die-dum-die, 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 die-dee-die, die-dum-die. where's our compassion? Is it somewhere we can discover? It's never too far, it's right where you are. It's always been in the arms of each other.
Sadly, this evening is coming to an end. So first things first, a heartfelt thank you to all our artists that participated tonight. Recht, Nichols, Eliana Light, Nava Tehila, Ari Litvak and his choir Shirati, our own Temple Sinai Choral Ensemble, Yonina, Noah Aronson, and Nefesh Mountain. All the words and music they have shared with us tonight were filled with Torah. So dear audience, wherever you are, let's give them a big round of applause. They really, really deserve it. A few key people were involved in the conception of this year's festival, so I want to thank my esteemed colleague Rabbi Eliana Litvak, the Director of Administration and her team, Susan Warwick, our Marketing Coordinator, Daniel Schneider. I especially want to thank our dear partner, Temple partner, Heather Oppenheimer, for giving me so many hours of brainstorming, speech editing, and more. And finally, my dear friend Hazzan Ari Litvak from Comunidad in Mexico for all his advice regarding the production. All the interviews could not have been done without the help of my dear colleague Rabbi David Paskin. Behind the scenes, he spent hours getting things done and giving technical and creative support so that I could do the interviews in a proper way. I really, really appreciate everything you did for me, Rabbi David. Thank you once again to the Wasserman Lindo Music Fund for supporting all musical events all year round. And finally, and most importantly, thank you to our major donor, the Israelson Family Foundation, for sponsoring the Spring Music Festival every year. Thank you, Stuart Israelson. I promised we will have a grand finale. The final song includes all the artists that you heard tonight, plus the special appearance of our own Rabbi David Paskin. I express my deepest gratitude to all of you for the time and heart they really spent, all the effort that they put into making this video possible. The new song I wrote was based on the prayer Adonai Sefatei Tiftach. Adonai, open up my lips so my mouth may declare your praise. A text that we say before the Amidah. It also incorporates the beginning of the closing words of the Amidah, Elohai netzor leshoni mera usfatai medaber mirma. My God, guard my speech from evil and my lips from deception. The song talks about the vulnerability that we have when we face situations that require us to be mindful of what we think and what we say, challenging us to control our impulses. As we continue tonight with Tikkun Leil Shavuot, immersing ourselves in study of Torah, may this song inspire us to master our Yetzer Hara, our evil inclination, so that we will be able to connect to people in a better way and be able to praise God with all our hearts and our souls. So thank you so much for being with us tonight here at Temple Sinai. We hope you enjoyed the 2021 edition of our annual Cantor Shulkes Spring Music Festival. Hag Sameach lekulam, lehitraot. שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך
Adonai, open up my lips
and that my mouth may declare your praise.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך
please hear my prayer.